Hi ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Well, just a short video. Of course I always say that and then it turns out that it isn't. But you know, some time ago I did a video to General David Petraeus asking him to basically repent and to come to the side of the people instead of trying to cultivate and obey the New World Order. Now, something I didn't mention about Petraeus at the time, but most of you will know, is that he was one of the generals that covered up the death, the manner of death, actually the assassination of Pat Tillman. And of course there was the talk that he was the great hero of Afghanistan and Iraq, and that was totally false. It was all basically a dog and pony show. His surge and giving money to the Taliban and all that kind of stuff was nothing more than just taking your hard-earned money and the blood, sweat, and tears of the American people and giving it away to somebody else is really all it was. Another way of attacking our treasure, not just our money, but the lives of our loved ones and the lives of the loved ones around the world. Because we really do have to start thinking about human beings and mankind, not just this particular group or that particular group. And I diverge quite a bit because, of course, I start thinking about other things. But if we want to be a one-world government, that sounds good because it sounds like it's going to break down those national boundaries and those tribal difficulties and walls. But in fact, that's not the way to do it, because look at how difficult governments are to control when there are this many of them. Think about one government that has no one else to control it, no one else to counter it. So it really is best, but we as people, as human beings, as mankind, we just need to open up our understanding and our patience with others. Think about life first and liberty, as I've always said. Anyway, getting back to David Petraeus. I told him that he needed to come to the right side. I wanted to give him the opportunity. And of course he didn't. The next thing I see, he's kissing Kissinger, and I said how bad that must taste, and obviously I was not pleased with that. And then after a period of time I finally did the washing of feet, and that was basically designed to ask that the Creator curse those who choose the evil side, and by choice. He, like Petraeus, he's not doing this out of ignorance. He's doing it for greed and for gaining, for fame, and for a position in the New World Order. So he chose his side. Now, one of the things that happens when you do that is what's happening now, and I have a link below, and here's a quick clip.
Every class, David! Every class, David! Every class, David! Every class, David! Every class, David!
Now, a lot of you have seen this already, so I'm not showing anything new, and the link to it's about a 1.5-minute clip is below. The point that I want to make about this is that he would rather have the accolades and the riches and the position and fame put on him by the evil side than he would to have the respect and honor of the people. And that's what's happened here. Now the people are seeing him for what he is, and they are heckling him, and this is going to increase, not just for Petraeus. It's going to happen to Obama, it's going to happen to Kerry, it's going to happen to Rothschild, it's going to happen to Rockefeller. When everybody understands what these people have done, this little thing that happened to Petraeus is a microcosm of what's going to happen to them, and that's why they've put together this entire security grid, not for your safety, not for your security, but for them. The NSA, the TSA, the Homeland Security, all of these things they've put into place to protect them, not you. Because they know that when you awaken, that this little thing that happened to Petraeus in microcosm is going to expand and explode. And they want to protect themselves from that. This is a very dangerous time because they will murder thousands, millions, maybe even billions of people to prevent this from happening to them. So you must stay awake and aware, okay? Now, the other day I mentioned that, there's a destruction coming. And now I'm not a doomsayer like, a lot of people that follow the scriptures real close, and, Christians in the sense that, God's going to destroy the whole earth. And I don't believe that, okay, first of all. But certain sections of it are opening themselves up to problems, and it's cause and effect, not just spiritually, but physically. And the United States is there, and that's what I'm talking about. Okay, the United States has opened itself up to destruction, and we're seeing the very beginnings of that. Actually, it's been going on for some time. But these people that are so drunk on power, remember the drunkards of Ephraim? They're so drunk on power and their narcissistic attitudes that they don't understand that this thing is coming down on them. And that's fine. But again, a lot of us are going to be dragged into this, and you need to make preparations to try to avoid that if you can. Now, talking about the narcissism, it's interesting how I segue into things, isn't it? Talking about narcissism, I wanted to point out that like a narcissistic, spoiled spouse, okay, the leaders of this nation are going to do the same kind of thing. They are going to attack us now. I mean, they've been doing that anyway, of course, like I've said, with the taxation with the IRS, the NSA, the DHS, all of these different things that have happened. But remember on the Boston bombing, they never did present the evidence of the Zarnov brothers, either one or both, at the finish line, only at the second bombing site. And I made an issue of that, and I said, let's see the proof. Well, the same thing with this Syria thing, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on with the UN and all that right now, but the point is, of course, that we were the ones that got this Syrian civil war started, the Western Intelligence Services, and have been supplying the rebels and causing this death and destruction and terrible stuff over there. Well, now that they've been kind of checkmated there, it's not entirely checkmated at this point, but it's very, very close. They're going to turn, just like a narcissistic spouse, when all the other people finally pull away from them, their friends and all that, then they turn on the person that's closest to them. Not that they haven't done this before, because they have from time to time, but now it's going to be even worse. This narcissistic leadership is going to turn back and take out their frustration and their anger on us, okay? I don't know if you understand the psychology of the narcissistic spouse, but if you look at it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And not just narcissistic spouse, you have narcissistic friends who'll do the same thing, and when their friends finally go away, then they'll turn on the closest people to them. Not that they haven't before, as I said, but it just kind of increases. So at any rate, we're in a really dangerous period right now, and I just wanted you to see this clip from Petraeus and see how that works. And again, this is going to increase over time as the people awaken more and more. So why don't I continue making regular videos and trying to reach out to the people that aren't awake yet? There are people out there, ladies and gentlemen, that are doing a much better job. I just come on here every once in a while just to kind of give a little update, a little, remember me, I'm still here, I haven't gone away. Waiting for certain things to happen, and then we'll go from there. Oh, and I also need to mention, how do you feel about the NSA? They say that they're out there protecting Americans, right? That's what they're all about. And they're selling your information, they're giving your information to foreign intelligence services like Israel. Yeah, they're really protecting us, aren't they? It's a global takeover, ladies and gentlemen, of intelligence services and the NWO. The military-industrial complex and the NWO, yeah, they're really protecting us. This is a scandal of major proportions. I don't know exactly where this thing in Syria is going to go. As I said before, I know that the New World Order wanted North Korea to be the trigger, but at this point in time, where their banking escapades and their lies and their deceits and all the things that this particular government's doing under the executive branch in particular, but they're all involved in it at some point in time. They're being exposed to such an extent they need something pretty fast to take our minds off it. Syria got the brakes put on it, so we've got to watch what's happening here. They could turn on us or any number of other people, as I've said. False flags, you know what I mean by that. So just keep your eyes and ears open And thanks for listening. Sorry this is a little longer than I expected.